You have to learn how to have the who the fuck does she think she is audacity, the gall, the absolute balls to get out there and do your thing. You have to have the guts to share your client wins, the guts to say, I'm the best at what I do. You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I am your host, Jill Perrick, business and mindset mentor for entrepreneurs who want to overcome imposter syndrome and so they can make fucking bank. And I'm so happy to be here with you today. And after you're done listening to this episode, I want you to head to my show notes or to my Instagram and take the leap into working with me. Whether that's through one of my low ticket subconscious reprogramming bundles or in my one-to-one coaching with me in Voxer. And I'm actually taking Voxer clients right now where we meet for a 90-minute deep dive and then I coach you in Voxer for 3 months on worthiness, money, imposter syndrome, content, and visibility. So head to the link in my show notes and let's frickin' go. And exciting news, the waitlist for my content course, Unfiltered and Filthy Rich, where you will make money from your content and from being fully fucking you. This course drops mid-October, and by joining the waitlist, you get access to an exclusive bonus in addition to the sale price of the course. So head to the link in my show notes to sign up for that. You do not want to miss out on this bonus. And now let's get into the episode, which is about feeling safe to be seen online and taking up space with your offers. Because here's the thing, you guys, so many of us as young women have been conditioned to not take up space. We have been taught to not need help. We've been taught to not boast or brag. We have been taught to dim our light so other people won't feel uncomfortable. And yet, here you fucking are, a coach or an online service provider on the internet. And it is basically a requirement to get in your audience's face every day and say, hey, pay me thousands of dollars. And if getting in your audience's face made you cringe, it's true, whether it's cringy or not. You are on a stage, talking yourself and your services up and compelling your audience to work with you. And this is extremely unnatural for about 90% of the population. So if you beat yourself up about it, literally don't. You are just a normal human being, and it makes total sense, especially if you have always wanted to stay small, quiet, and insignificant your entire life. Like showing up on social media and being seen and talking yourself up, of course, would be difficult. And like I said, especially as women, we are conditioned to not be seen as too much. And I know that this was something that I really had to confront when I started showing up. I am the kind of person who didn't even like my friends focusing on me when I had conversations with them. I always wanted to turn the conversation towards them. I was so uncomfortable with compliments and receiving, and this is something that I've had to heal for my mindset around receiving to improve. And from a historical perspective, this makes total sense. Pack mentality is real, and there is so much safety in being a part of the pack. So when you show up on social media, you are literally separating yourself from the pack. You're standing out, and that can feel super dangerous to the primitive mind. It can quite honestly feel like we are heading for death to our nervous systems. It can feel jarring and completely unsafe and can be very dysregulating. If you feel anxious or nervous before you show up, before you go live, or if you go into kind of like a freeze response, which is a passive or frozen state when you're trying to create content, This is an alarm bell from your nervous system that you feel unsafe, even if it's just a very subtle change in your physiology. And it makes total sense why you would feel this way. I actually have created an EFT tapping and a meditation that is exclusively for my clients for when they are about to do content creation. Because again, it can be very dysregulating, and that's why so many of you guys freeze up. You don't know what to say, you think you sound stupid, you delete your freaking Instagram stories, etc. And have you ever compared yourself to the ways that others show up? So I hear this a lot from people. They're like, Jill, how the fuck do you show up so often and always with something to say? And the thing is, like, I see everything I have to say or what I do as valuable. I don't discredit myself. I don't think I'm stupid. And I think that the thoughts that I have are valuable to my potential soulmate clients and my audience. And I also used to have a lot of judgments about people, specifically influencers, who would show up and share stories. And when I was a coach in the beginning, I would see other coaches talking about themselves in their coaching, and I would feel so judgmental about how they were doing it. But we know that judgment is really just our fears projected outwards onto other people. I was afraid that if I showed up that way, that people would think that I was annoying. And I would tell myself that no one cared about my life or my stories. I was afraid that if I sold every day, people would think I was pushy or salesy. I was afraid that if I shared client wins, people would think that I was taking credit for my client wins and that I was bragging about myself. And when you're a woman who has been taught to put other people's emotions before your own, when you're a woman who was taught to be kind above all else, to make others feel comfortable even if you feel uncomfortable, and to prioritize being liked over making money, it is very unconscious, but you will shy away from doing the very things required to sell in the online space. Like show up consistently, sell your services with tenacity and boldness, share client testimonials and wins, and talk yourself up as the coach, the entrepreneur that can help others. And when you have this conditioning, it's going to be so hard to create the habit about talking about yourself and your offers like the best fucking thing ever all the time. And this is exactly how imposter syndrome comes into play here, because so many of you guys don't want to talk yourself up, share your own wins or client wins, or post incessantly about your services because of the fear of not measuring up or not being good enough or not being liked. And this will also unconsciously manifest into the fear of being seen, because what if you're seen by others and you're being recognized and people want to work with you and then they're disappointed or they think that you don't measure up? These poisonous thoughts that you believe are the truth will seep into your marketing, no doubt, if they are unchecked. Hey guys, I hope you're loving today's episode. I am just taking a brief pause in today's episode to share with you a client testimonial. These testimonials are either from group coaching clients or clients who are in my one-to-one coaching program. And I can't wait for you to hear how I have changed their lives and their businesses for the better.
One of the best things about Jill is that she never lets you get away with your shit. I think in the coaching community, in the self-help space, it seems like enough to hold space for people. But she not only holds space for you and like validates you and your feelings, but helps you figure out why they're there and reminds you that it's a choice, right? We're always going to have that first thought, but it's our choice if we want to believe it or not.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Now let's get back to the episode. But here's the fucking truth, my love. Marketing yourself as a coach or service provider online takes a level of self-absorption, a level of who the fuck does she think she is, a level of did I really just say that? This is a level of boldness that feels completely unnatural at first, but only because of the conditioning that you've received as a woman. But don't get it twisted. When I say being self-absorbed, I mean self-absorption by way of accepting and loving yourself, because it's going to feel impossible to talk yourself up, claim your coaching is the shit, and consistently market your services if you don't. And I want you to think about your own judgments around this and where you may have learned that it was bad to celebrate or think highly of yourself. For me, I had a friend in high school who would routinely shoot me down when I wanted to celebrate myself at all. I remember making a really good play in flag football, and she said, "Oh, you just think you're so good, don't you?" And I was 15 at the time, and I felt so stupid for wanting to feel good about myself. And emotions, especially negative ones, are the reason why experiences stick with us, because we can remember how something felt and it brings us back to that time. And if something made us feel shitty, it's our natural impulse to not want to experience that feeling again. And if we can get an inkling that something might make us feel that way, we unconsciously avoid it and can self-sabotage ourselves in the process, because our unconscious desires are not worried about what is going to be the best thing for us, right? Especially because the best things for us usually require us to push through our comfort zone, to do things that scare us, etc. So what if it just takes your nervous system some time to get accustomed to doing this? What if you didn't beat yourself up for showing up feeling hard or difficult, because you know it is just your brain and your body getting on board with this foreign action that you're not used to taking? Even if you're so used to showing up but not directly selling, that is even something that you will have to become accustomed to doing. I'm telling you, it took me time to acclimatize to directly selling my services without a long-ass Instagram story where I gave the value and then sold at the end. All of our actions become repetition at some point, but they also need to begin at some point too. And your nervous system, your brain, your body, they need time to get on board with this new life-threatening thing that you're doing, even if you rationally, consciously know that you're not going to die through uploading an Instagram story. You have to learn how to have the "who the fuck does she think she is" audacity, the gall, the absolute balls to get out there and do your thing. You have to have the guts to share your client wins, the guts to say, "I'm the best at what I do." I have tons of friends in the online space, and something that we all have in common is that we are all ridiculously confident about our services. And I am always responding to their Instagram stories being like, "Holy shit, the ball's on you to say this." Because when you have the audacity to be confident in yourself and your services, you will be rewarded sooner than you even realize. Having the audacity to share client wins and own where your credit is due, or to share your own wins, or to say that your coaching is the shit, it goes against everything you've been taught as a woman, but it's fucking magnetic as a coach selling her services. It really, truly is. We all think that when we sell, it's annoying to other people or that they don't like it, but they are on your page. They are following you. They're listening to your podcasts. They're on your email list. They want to be there. They want you to sell to them. And you would be surprised at how fucking magnetic it is to stand in your personal power when you sell. You will be surprised at how many women are like, "Fuck yes, I need that," or "I need to be like that." I even think about the word salesy, and I just think it's crazy how we see it as subliminally bad to sell our services. One of my clients, Mom's, was reviewing her webinar, and when my client got to the end where she was selling her 3-month coaching package, her mom said it was a bit too salesy. And when she told me this over Voxer, I said, "No offense to your mom, but she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. It sounds salesy because you're selling. It's supposed to sound salesy. We are having none of this pretending to not be selling something and being secretive about it. If you are a coach who markets her services online, you are selling a service. And I want you to have the audacity to be salesy as fuck." And that might require a level of self-absorption and definitely a level of being comfortable being seen. So I want you to sit down and I want you to dump out all of the judgments you have of yourself and of others when it comes to being seen on the internet and when it comes to selling your services. And I want you to include where you learn these judgments and fears from. And then you are going to light that bitch on fire when you have dumped it all out, taking back your energy, and you are going to vow to start to acclimatize your nervous system to this new version of yourself. The version of you that shows up just a little bit each day if you need to start slow, and truly getting yourself comfortable with showing yourself off. Not just once, not just twice, but a habit that you create for every fucking day. To push yourself to the edge every single time you do an Instagram story or a post, really fucking owning who you are and the work that you do. Your work is important, necessary, and deserves to be shared, but we can't experience it unless you put yourself out there. Your soulmate clients can't find you and love you and choose to work with you if you don't let yourself be fucking seen. And this is going to be something that is going to be so fucking easy for you when you take the new course, Unfiltered and Filthy Rich, making money from your content and from being fully fucking you. And this is going to be a course with all of my methods for completely unfiltering yourself to show up authentically without holding anything back and converting clients from your content. Head to the show notes to sign up for the waitlist so you can get access to the sweet ass bonuses that are going to be happening during the first official sale when we launch in mid-October. Okay? I love you guys, and I hope you loved this episode. And you can also head to the link in my show notes to check out my low ticket bundles or apply to work with me in my 3 months of one-to-one Voxer coaching. I will talk to you guys in October. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. Head to the show notes to learn how you can work with me, where you can buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and how to get on my email list for free. Screenshot this episode and add it to your Instagram stories, tagging me at Your Coach Jill. See you next time.